transaction analysis in a nutshell?
Yeah, so I think transaction analysis is something very fundamental, and I think all HR folks and managers and leaders should have an exposure to it. Of course, it was created and made famous by Eric Berne, especially his all-time, um, you know, classic called Games People Play. And this in this, of course, he explores at all the dysfunctional behaviors that people have, and what is more useful and apt for practitioners like us is what his disciples, um, Thomas Harris and Amy Harris, have written subsequently, which is "I am okay, you're okay, and staying okay." The concept is very simple, and instead of explaining that from a conceptual perspective, I'll explain it through an example, and I'll kind of point out where it is coming from in the nonviolent communication framework and where it is coming from in the transactional analysis framework. Transactional analysis framework basically says that when you get a stimulus, you respond, and you respond from different kind of self-identities, identity as a parent, as an adult, and as a child. So I'll not get into the details of this. That calls for a completely separate session. But essentially, even today morning, I got up, I was looking out for my watch, and I called out to my wife and said, "Hey, I can't find my watch. Have you seen it?" And she says, "It is where you left it." Now, the smile on your face tells me that you have experienced something similar, or you now
No,
know.
I just played that line in your wife's voice, and
So I hope she's not hearing right now. Otherwise, both of us are in trouble. But essentially, what it is saying is we know now that the conversation is no longer about the watch. It is about how disorganized and careless you are. No, that's the conversation that is going to happen now. Now, so we know that from transactional analysis that this is coming from her parent and it is addressed to my child. Whereas what I had come from, the ego state that I had come from, as per Eric Berne, was adult to adult. It's a question. It's a statement. It's a fact. I'm trying to find out something factual. Have you seen my watch? Now, what she said is, it is where you left it. On the surface, it sounds like adult to adult because it's logical. But in reality, it is from parent to child, where the parent is scolding the child, saying that, look, you're so careless and disorganized, etc. And so now this is in transactional analysis terminology. This is called it's called an ulterior transaction, which means that on the surface, it looks like it's an adult to adult, but actually it's a parent to child. And the moment you have an ulterior transaction or a crossed transaction, as has happened in this case, conversation is not possible. And dialogue is no longer possible. You're going to get into an argument. And so if you build capability in understanding what's happening and you're able to reflect back, and so now I know in this situation that the best response from me is not an adult to adult, it's from a child to child. I know that she likes Shah Rukh Khan movies. So the only good thing that I can say now is that, hey, can you help me find the watch? I'll take you to a Shah Rukh Khan movie in the evening. Maybe that can get me out of trouble temporarily. So that's from the transactional analysis framework. From a nonviolent communication framework, you can see that what um, she's saying is that I like you, and so I don't want you to be so disorganized. Yeah, wives like this, husbands quite a lot, spouses like their partners quite a lot, and they have an agenda in terms of making them better. So we better look out. Uh, Having said this, there's another concept that came out from transactional analysis, which is equally interesting. In fact, Eric Berne wrote a book about it, which is called "What Do You Say After You Say Hello?" And his thesis in the book is that what a person says after the first time they're meeting somebody and after their first hello whatever they say about themselves discloses their life script. What do they see their life trajectory as? And so that's also very helpful. If you're observant and you're mindful and you're alert, you'll understand what this person's life is imagining their life story to be, and what is their journey. And therefore, it allows you to be able to respect that, acknowledge that, and align with that if you want to work together. So that is transactional analysis. Back to you.
Interesting. So when we're talking about building outstanding teams, the fundamental to that obviously is the psychological safety and and the quality of interaction, the quality of relationship that people have within the team and with the manager is also something that has a huge bearing on that. And then we spoke about how NVC could be leveraged for people to understand how the other person is communicating, how are we communicating whenever we are in different scenarios and duress. And we also logically explored a little bit of the transactional analysis piece. So depending on the kind of feedback, maybe we could actually schedule a separate session to understand all of that. Now,